New Masters of the Universe origin rumors. Hasbro Star Wars 6-inch Black Series Imperial probe droid figure revealed. Mezco shows off their 112 collective Thanos figure. Hot Toys does Birds of Prey Harley Quinn. All that and more in today's news video. So let's jump in. You action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another TNINews video. And we've got a lot to cover today as always, but real quick, just want to send you my normal reminder. If you haven't already, please consider signing up for the TNI newsletter. Last time I checked, we had about 1,000 subscribers. We just launched this a couple weeks ago, so I do appreciate everybody who has signed up. It is just an easy way to keep track of all the latest news headlines, especially as we're going in towards Toy Fair, which begins on February 22nd, so we're only a few weeks away. But, as you can tell with just all the news videos I've been doing recently, there's just a lot of news that's been coming out, and that's going to keep going at least until the end of the month. So, and if you ever want to unsubscribe, it takes 2 seconds to do that. You won't get the newsletter, and it only takes a few seconds to sign up for, and the link to do that is in the video description. And again, if you haven't already, I really strongly urge that you should consider doing so. Okay, so for today's news, I'm going to start things off with what I'm going to call purely a rumor. I've not been able to confirm this from any additional sources. This is a report that comes from the German Toy Fair, which took place recently. Mattel supposedly had a closed session, which is not unusual for these overseas toy fairs. Generally, they do not let the press in for these overseas toy fairs. Sometimes images do leak out, but in this case, no images, just a report, somebody that saw this stuff on display and they got it out. I found this report on the He-Man.org message boards, posted by an Abaddon, I believe is how you pronounce his name. And again, I've not been able to confirm this in any way, so do treat this purely as rumor. Some of these figures that were listed are, we do know are coming. We've seen Mattel tease them and such. So, a lot of these figures we do know are actually in the works, but they've broken it down in actual waves. And so for the first wave, this is the new He-Man Origins line that will be coming to mass retail later this year. We saw it at San Diego last year and at New York Comic Con and such. They're, around 5 inches, and they're compatible with the new WWE mashup line where you can interchange parts and everything. And they look very much like the classic toy line, only with a bit more articulation and stuff. So the first wave of figures is said to have He-Man, Man-at-Arms, Skeletor, and Beastman, and that is pretty much confirmed. That's what Mattel revealed at San Diego Comic-Con. And then wave 2 has Teela, which we've seen, Evil Lyn, and Orko. Orko they've teased. This is the first we're seeing that he's going to actually be included in the second wave, but we do know Orko is definitely coming. Wave 3, Scareglow, we know that one's coming. They've teased it, and so this is the first time we're seeing that it looks like it's going to be included in Wave 3. Manny Faces and Merman. Wave 4 is said to have Trapjaw, which is another one that we know is coming. Stratos, Triclops, and Stinkor. Then we've got Wave 5 that has Webstore, Fisto, Mossman, Roboto. And then Wave 6 is said to have Jitsu, Battle Armor He-Man, Buzz-Off, and Clawful. Now, I don't know why Wave 2 only has 3 figures. Well, I got, that one's the only wave that seems to only have 3 figures. All the others have at least 4. So I don't know why that is, why that wave is seemingly being short packed. Maybe they're going to include repack He-Man or something in Wave 2. I don't know. But that's how it breaks down. And then there's said to be a mail-away Faker figure. So maybe a nod to the old days when you would send off for an action figure, I guess. I don't know. For vehicles, they're doing Battle Cat, and that one's confirmed. We saw that one revealed at PowerCon. We're getting a Sky Sled with Prince Adam. That's another one that was revealed at PowerCon, so we know that one's coming. We're getting Panther with fur, I guess flocked like the original toy. We're getting a Wind Raider vehicle, a Battle Ram vehicle, and Zodak on a silver floating chair platform. So, and again, not confirmed. Most of this is not confirmed, so just treat it as rumor. And then there's said to be a number of store exclusives coming, which not surprising. Any mass retail line these days is likely going to have store exclusives. It's just part of the way the industry is set up today. So, according to this, we're going to be getting a 2-pack with a Beastman and a Merman, said to be similar to like they did with the San Diego Comic-Con He-Man figure where it's going to have a vintage toy head and a new toy head. So, you know, we're getting the regular versions in the line, and then we're getting these exclusive versions. And 4 hands and more weapons. Yellow trident, wooden axe. Merman's head looks like the old mini comic book, apparently, is what the report says. And then there's going to be a Tila and Man-at-Arms 2-pack as well. Same kind of thing with Tila's going to have blonde hair. There's going to be a head sculpt of Tila with blonde hair and a vintage head sculpt. A sword and spear and shield, 4 hands. Man-at-Arms going to have a vintage toy head and a new toy head, a brown cape, a mace, a sword, and a gun. And looks like this exclusive version has more paint than the regular version, according to this report. And then there's also said to be convention exclusives. Again, not surprising. We already had a convention exclusive for this line before it was even released last year. So not surprising they're going to do another exclusive at San Diego. And this year's con exclusive is said to have Skeletor and Keldor 2-pack, has open comic like last year. Skeletor looks like he's painted differently from the regular version and has a vintage toy head, 6 hands, a different sword with power sword. Keldor has a purple cloth vest, sword, cape, and bone harness, and extra hands. And then finally, the last thing they indicate is that there is a new Castle Grayskull under consideration. And I don't know if that, because he says under consideration, and then he goes on to kind of describe it. So I don't know if that means they had something actually there on display, or if this is what they basically were talking about or something. I'm not entirely sure, but they're saying looks like the classic one. It's going to look like the classics one with an old looking paint job and less accessories with it. So again, I don't know if they actually had something on display, or if this was just like they said this is what they were thinking about doing. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if they're going to get this out to mass retail, I would not be surprised if they end up re-releasing the Castle Grayskull. You know, I figured from day one that this would end up getting a lot of this Masters of the Universe classic stuff, I figured would end up getting reused when a movie came out and stuff, because you knew at the point when a movie came out, that's when He-Man would return to retail shelves. So not surprised really in the slightest. Again, though, this entire list is not confirmed, so do treat it with a grain of salt. Hopefully, if all this is true, we'll pretty much see all this stuff at the end of this month during the New York Toy Fair. Now, while we're on the subject of He-Man, there's also another rumor floating around, which is actually kind of a confirmation of another rumor. So still nothing has been officially announced, but indications continue to suggest that the He-Man movie that was originally supposed to be in the works from Sony Pictures is going to be going straight to Netflix. It's not going to be hitting movie theaters. And there's even a possibility with this latest rumor that Sony maybe is no longer even involved with the project. So again, all this kind of grain of salt, but I would not be surprised really in the slightest if the movie does end up going straight to Netflix. We're starting to see that trend more and more. I think, I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, I think people probably watch more movies on streaming services and like Netflix than they do actually go to the movie theaters anymore. Unless it's like a truly big giant blockbuster movie, like a Marvel movie or something like that. I think most people just nowadays just end up waiting for it to come home. Most people have huge TV, sound systems, everything like that. You can watch it cheaper and from the comfort of your home. And I just feel like people go to the movie theaters less and less, myself included. I find myself going to the movie theaters far less than I used to. And then for you Dragon Ball fans, this week Tamashii Nations released official images and details for their upcoming SH Figure Arts Great 8 Vegeta figure. So this figure had been on display at some of the conventions last year, like San Diego and New York Comic Con. I remember when I'm not familiar with this character, but I remember when I saw this figure, I was quite impressed with it. It is quite large. It's about 12.2 inches tall, so much bigger than your normal SH Figure Arts figure. And it's going to have a decent amount of accessories. It's going to be released in July 2020. It should be going up for pre-order as of today. I haven't seen pre-orders listed for it just yet, but any time now, really, it should be going up for pre-order. And again, the release date for it is going to be July 2020. So you're going to get multiple pairs of hands, or well, you are going to get multiple pairs of hands with the figure. You're going to get 2 head sculpts with the figure, one where the eye is damaged, and then I can't tell if the jaw is articulated or if it's just one of the head sculpts has an open mouth and the other is a closed. I think that's what it is. Originally I thought it was an articulated jaw, and I'm not entirely sure on that, but definitely you've got the one head sculpt with the damaged eye and then the other with the regular eyes. You've got basically you've got the little dudes that you can include. So he's got a pair of grip hands where he's actually holding the Son Goku figure that, that's actually sculpted into the hand, so it looks like he's holding it. Then you have the little mini figure that you can attach to the side there. It looks like he's cutting his leg. You've got 2 tails, so one with the tail, regular tail, and then the other where the tail's been cut off. I guess that's something that happens in the story. Again, I'm not familiar with the character, but I'm guessing there. And then like I said, just a big giant figure overall, and looks really nicely detailed. So like I said, at this filming, I've not seen the figure go up for pre-order, but it was today was the date for it to be available for pre-order. So I would suspect that you're going to start seeing it up at places like our sponsor Big Bad Toy Store any day now, or any time now. Now this weekend, the newest DC comic movie hits theaters with Birds of Prey Harley Quinn movie. And this week, Hot Toys announced that they're doing a 12-inch version of Harley Quinn. So she's wearing that gold jumpsuit like we see everybody who's doing a figure seems to be basing it on the same outfit, the gold jumpsuit. She's got the chain that she's wearing. She's got the pink tank top. She's got roller skates. She's got the big mallet. She's got multiple pairs of hands. You've got the figure stand with a backdrop on it. And, face sculpt looks pretty good on this one. Now, this figure is available for pre-order now. It went up for pre-order, I think, yesterday at places like Big Bad Toy Store. And, overall, if you're a Harley Quinn fan, this figure does look pretty good. Now, I've gotten a lot of you asking about, are we going to get a non-imported figure, basically from McFarlane Toys? Are they going to do Harley Quinn? And as far as I know of, the answer is yes. All indications point that they are doing a figure, even though they have not yet officially announced one. But on the back of the packaging of some of the already released multiverse figures, you actually see that one listed. So that's probably the biggest giveaway that they're doing it. Before the figures even came out, we had seen computer listings of a movie Harley Quinn with a UPC and SKU number. So, like I said, even though there's been no official announcement yet, which I do admit is kind of strange, my guess is the figure, for whatever reason, got held back. I think it was supposed to be put out initially with this first batch of action figures. So it may not be, they're not going to release it until Wave 2. But I am pretty sure that they are going to do a Harley Quinn from the movie, and if not sooner, we'll probably get details on that figure at Toy Fair in a couple weeks. For you Star Wars fans, it has now been confirmed that Hasbro is releasing a 6-inch Black Series Imperial probe droid from Empire Strikes Back. It's been confirmed not because Hasbro has officially announced it, but because it's actually started to hit store shelves. So we have over on Jedi Insider a gallery of in-hand images of the figure, thanks to Ohio Pop Culture Collector. And if you want to check out more, I'll put a link to those in the video description below. But this figure has actually started to hit shelves. I've seen reports of it hitting both Walmart stores and merger stores. So, and the cost of it is going to be $30. It's essentially a deluxe figure. It's got a little Hoth display base. The legs are articulated on the figure. However, the antennas on the top do not raise up or anything, like you see in the movie, but the legs are articulated, and then you can pose it on that stand. Looks very similar to, the 3 3/4 inch version that they did a while back. Almost looks like they kind of sized it up. Paint applications look decent. But again, this figure is definitely coming and is starting to hit shelves now. I don't know. I've tried to find out when, it's going to actually go up for pre-order online, and I've not been able to get those details yet. I don't know when Hasbro is going to officially announce it. You'd think it would be pretty soon, being it's already hitting, certain store shelves. But I do not have any other details. But again, it is hitting shelves now. Again, if you want to get a better look at it, head over to Jedi Insider. And again, the figure is going to cost about $30. I also have new updated images for the Black Series 6-inch vintage card back Empire Strikes Back wave that Hasbro's doing. I told you about this several weeks ago, but now once again, thanks to Ohio Pop Culture Collector, we have some really nice high-res images of the figures so you can get a good look at all the face sculpts. So these are, for the most part, the same figures other than like the human characters. It has, especially like the Bespin Luke, has the updated face scan technology that they use with it. So the head sculpt looks much more like actual Mark Hamill than the original Bespin Luke figure. That's probably going to be the most demand figure in this wave. And again, these come on the vintage style Kenner card backs. They did this with Star Wars, and now they're doing it with the Empire Strikes Back with that anniversary. The wave includes the Bespin Luke Skywalker, and then we're also getting Bespin Han Solo. And I think that head sculpt actually looks a little bit better than the original one as well. Hoth Princess Leia, that head sculpt looks good. Yoda, and then an AT-AT driver. And these also, like the probe droid, have started to hit shelves. And these particular ones that you're seeing from Ohio Pop Culture Collector come from Mergers. Mergers, is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. I don't have those stores around me, so I know they're based in Ohio and in the middle part of the country, but we don't have those stores here where I live. For you Marvel fans, so just to let you know, the Marvel Legends Venom figure that I talked about previously just the other day, that is actually now starting to be released. So we have a full-on image gallery and a review up on Marvelous News, and I will put a link to that if you haven't checked it out already. The review comes from Madness80. He managed to score this. I believe he said he got it from Frankensons, but I've also heard reports of some online e-tailers have started to ship these out as well. So, even though this figure was just announced literally a few days ago, it is already starting to hit shelves. And you can see from these images here from Madness, he provided these images for us, that the figure actually looks quite good, even though it is a repaint of that previous Venom Build-A-Figure. I think this new paint job definitely is a vast improvement on the figure overall. It has very much a McFarlane Eddie Brock look to it with the big white symbol on it, and the head looks really good and everything. So like I said, it is a repaint, but I think it's definitely this might be the best Venom figure that they've released to date. So and definitely seems like we're going to be getting a lot of Venom product this year. Everybody's doing Venom, and which kind of brings me to my next story with if you're a Lego collector. So this was another reveal that came from the German Toy Fair. So they're doing a new Spider-Man set called the Venom Crawler set. So it's kind of a fun little set. It looks like it's set number 76163. You get the spider buggy with Spider-Man, and then there's a Carnage figure, which has a weird looking kind of propeller thing that I guess you can fly around with. And then Iron Venom. I don't know what that's based on or where that came from. Maybe something Lego just totally made up. I'm not entirely sure, but they're listing the Venom figure as Iron Venom. So kind of interesting. And then there's also the Venom spider crawler thing, which is the big set, the big piece in the set. So this was revealed at the German Comic-Con, and we'll probably see this on hand at the New York Comic-Con later this month. And then the final bit of news I have for you guys today comes on the Mezco 112 collective front. So today they officially announced and released images for their Thanos figure, and it is now available for pre-order at places like our sponsor Big Bad Toy Store. So this figure was initially shown briefly. They had it like out in their shelf. I think it was at San Diego, maybe it was New York, but it was one of those conventions. And before the show had even opened, and somebody managed to grab like not a great image, but enough to see that it was Thanos. And so we knew this figure was coming, and of course they pulled it out of the case, and we never saw it again until now, the figure. So I don't know why they had it out there and then they pulled it. I guess they didn't have the licensor's approval to show it off then, is my best guess. But and then of course they released a teaser, and I think I talked about the teaser the other day. They released a teaser, and a lot of you which showed the face sculpt in the teaser, and a lot of you seemed to not like it, and I agree, it kind of looked a little bit off. And it looks like they actually made changes to it. So these new final images, the face definitely looks improved. There's actually going to be 2 different head sculpts with this one. You've got I should say 3 different head sculpts with this one. You've got a smiley face, you've got a gritting teeth face, and then you've got a closed mouth face. So 3 different head sculpts. You've got an infinity gauntlet that has 2 interchangeable hands and a light up feature. So you get a closed fist version of the gauntlet and then an open hand version of the gauntlet. And again, it does, the gems actually light up on it, which is cool. You get a cosmic cube with this one. And then, like I said, you get the 3 interchangeable hands. You get regular, some additional regular hands. And then you get a figure stand like we always get with the Mezco figures. So, definitely, these new head sculpts look much better than the original one they teased the other day. And, overall seems like a pretty cool figure. It's based on, Thanos's more modern costume in the comics and everything. It looks more comic book based than movie based, but definitely seems like it's a pretty cool figure. And again, that figure is up for pre-order. I assume it's still available. I haven't checked, but it went up for pre-order today. Probably will sell out pretty quickly, I would guess, but last time I checked it, it was available for pre-order. Okay, so that's it for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything I talked about. Let me know in the comments section below. As always, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a video. And of course, once again, just a reminder, think about signing up for that TNI newsletter if you haven't already. It takes 2 seconds to do, and I do think it will help you out with just keeping up with all the latest news that's going to be coming at you over the course of the next few weeks. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.
Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News message boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.